What is up, car addicts? Welcome back to the vlog channel and to my garage. So in this video, I'm going to be discussing why I am no longer taking delivery of my Demon 170. So Dodge famously unveiled this car in March of last year. 1,025 horsepower, 8-second quarter mile, 0 to 61.66 seconds. Just crazy stats. 151 miles an hour in the quarter, I believe it was. Just crazy stats, crazy car. And everybody went crazy over it and wanted it, you know, the Mopar enthusiasts and Mopar collectors and such. I wanted one as well, even though I'm not a collector. But I just really wanted to have one, especially since, you know, I had a 2015 Scat Pack in Sublime Green. Then I had a 2015 Hellcat in Sublime Green. And then they brought back that color in 19, which is the same year the Red Eye came out. So when I traded in my Hellcat for Hellcat Red Eye wide body in the same color, I have an obsession with the color. I just like the color. It is what it is. But for 2023, they brought back that color. So I was like, man, the last best, fastest Challenger, also the color that I love, I just have to get it. So I went crazy looking to order one. Now, for those of you who don't know, the markups on these cars, on these Demons, is the craziest I've ever seen in the car industry, especially for an American car. So these cars, the MSRP is about 100,000. Add some options to it, 115, under 120, somewhere around there. I was calling around different dealerships and I was hearing the same thing from like every dealership. We're asking $100,000 over the MSRP. That means you're gonna pay over 200 grand for this car. I was like, damn, that's a lot of money. I mean, that's like exotic car territory, you know, money-wise. So I was like, geez, you know, there has to be a better markup deal out there, MSRP, which, but unbeknownst to me, that's just impossible. But so kept calling around. And I was able to secure one at 50,000 over MSRP to order, which I know is crazy. That's a whole Scat Pack. Looking back, it's pretty ridiculous that I agreed to that. But I figured it was a special car, and considering the 18 Demons are still worth about 50,000+ over their original MSRP of about 85, 90 to 90,000, they're still worth about 130, 140. It makes sense. You know, you're not going to lose money. You're basically paying most of that markup up front, so you're really not gonna make a ton of money, but you're not gonna lose a ton of money either. So I was like, you know what, screw it, I'll do it. Last best car, and I'm gonna sell my Red Eye later on. The car's gonna take a while to be built anyway, so whatever. I put my deposit for the allocation, and then the order banks opened in May, so that's when you can actually place your actual order. So I placed it with all the specs I wanted, the Sublime Green, the black hood, and the carbon fiber wheels. So that's a big thing on the Demons. The carbon fiber wheels, only about 800 cars got that option out of the 3,300 they built. So the carbon fiber wheel option, believe it or not, it actually sold out the first day that the order banks opened, which is wild. So I guess Dodge didn't anticipate that many people ordering the carbon wheels, but I wanted it to make the car a bit more special and look cooler. You know, not just the weight savings. I mean, it's mainly for the look and all that. And I was able to get my order in with the carbon wheels, thankfully. But there's a lot of Dodge owners and enthusiasts and collectors who wanted to get the carbon wheels on their car, but the dealerships were a little slow putting their orders in, and they weren't able to get the carbon fiber wheels on their car. So that kind of sucks for those guys. But I was able to get it on mine. And obviously I'm patiently waiting. Fast forward to August, I get a call from Dodge concierge saying, hey, you know, we're just confirming your Demon order, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, okay. We want to talk to you about something. We want to ask if you'd be willing to take the carbon fiber wheels off your car, off your order. I'm like, no. Like, why? Well, we're having supplier issues, yada, yada, yada. But here's what we can do. If you take that carbon wheel option off your car, we can get the car to you sooner. We'll take it off the order. And then you're going to have the normal wheels on it, and you can always buy the carbon fiber wheels at a later date. And I was like, okay, but I mean, what's the difference? Well, if you can still keep the carbon fiber wheels on your car, but you're not going to have the car till early 2024. And I'm like, so late 2023 to get the car with normal wheels, or I wait an extra 3 to 4 months to get it with the wheels I really want. I've already been waiting so long anyways, just leave it on there. I don't care, you know? So I left it on there. And then fast forward to October, I sold my Hellcat Red Eye, obviously in anticipation of buying my Demon. Also, in between all of this, Dodge decided to do a price increase on the Demon 170 from the price they had originally agreed to do. So they did their own sort of markup, $10,000 more, plus a gas guzzler tax, which was over $2,000. So roughly about $12,000 price increase. Obviously, they didn't want to, anger the people who ordered all these cars. So they said, look, you still have to pay the new gas guzzler tax, but you don't have to pay that 10K price increase. As long as you were the one who originally ordered the car and you're the one who's taking delivery of it at the time of purchase, we'll honor that 10K less price, but you still got to pay the new gas guzzler the tax price, which they can't control. Fine, whatever, that's fine. I did sell my red eye in October, and then my car, at the time of this recording, it's currently, March 14th. The car still has not arrived at the dealer. Still hasn't gotten there. So obviously I sold the red eye, I'm getting everything ready. And I already agreed to this before, but the market on these cars has kind of shifted pretty dramatically. Right now, if you call around, you can find one pretty easily at 50,000 over MSRP, just sitting on a dealer lot. Obviously with the new 10K or 12K, whatever price increase. But it's not bad considering, the $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 over asking price that dealers were asking back in March of last year. So I was doing the math and everything, and my car, what they call out the door, meaning taxes, fees, markup, MSRP, everything, my Demon was going to cost me close to $190,000. Basically, call it 200 grand, right? That it's close enough as it is. So almost $200,000 for a Dodge Challenger. You're probably saying to yourself, well, Mike, you already knew this when you ordered it. Kind of, yes. I guess I was sort of like in the hype of it. I could still buy it, obviously, but honestly, a lot of things started coming out about the car that kind of has massively deterred me away from it. I even made a list. When you have a list, that's how you know there's a lot of little things. So let's start off with the first thing. We have the look. So no front wide body. That kind of angers me a little bit. I already knew this, obviously, when I ordered it. It's kind of hypocritical of me to complain about this now, but I figured in person it would look a bit better. I saw it in person. I was trying to make excuses, trying to let it grow on me, but that car just needs the front wide body. They just reused the Hellcat fenders and front bumper and front splitter from the narrow body Hellcat. It just doesn't look right. It looks, I don't know. And then you have the wide body, and the back of it looks cool, but the car just doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't look up the part 100%. Now here's the next big thing. This is what really pushed me over the edge. This car, it has a speed limiter. So when Dodge first unveiled this car, there was different articles that Dodge even promoted on their own website, stating that the car has this amount of horsepower, these stats, and a top speed of 215 miles per hour. Wow, that's incredible. I was kind of wondering to myself, man, the 18 Demon had a top speed limiter of like 160, I think. So how did they, the car comes with Mickey Thompson drag radials and new one, how'd they get around that speed rating? But I guess they found a way, a few months, started going by, and then people started getting the cars around November, December, when the cars started landing, and people started buying them and testing them, and they're like, wait a minute, this car speed limited to 149. Nobody knew. It's even in the manual, but nobody knew until the car actually came out, pretty much. So the car is speed limited to 149 because of the drag tires. So most people were like, it's not that big of a deal. Put a tune on it, take off that speed limiter, you're good to go, right? And change the tires, optionally. No. So the car, it's not just speed limited by the tires, it's also speed limited by the heavy duty drive shaft. So this car has a drive shaft that's only rated for about 150, 160 miles an hour. If you go over that for a longer period of time, there's a high possibility, this is from Dodge, by the way, there's a high possibility that the drive shaft will come up, break through the floor, and possibly harm or kill you or your passenger. That's, wow. That's pretty ridiculous, that they would sell a car like that, but that's what Dodge decided to do. I guess to have a stronger drivetrain for, obviously it's a purpose-built drag car, so I mean it kind of makes sense, but still, that was kind of annoying that they promoted, crazy speed that the car actually can't do. The next thing, because of the fact that you have an 18-inch front wheel, that means that the 6-piston Hellcat front brakes, the massive Brembo brakes, they don't fit on that wheel. That was the same issue with the 18 Demon and also the Superstock. So what did Dodge do? They decided to put the 4-piston Brembos, which is pretty much the same braking system that you have in a Scat Pack. So you have a 1,025 horsepower car with skinny 245 front tires that has Scat Pack brakes. That's that's a bit scary if you ask me. Also to mention about that speed limiter thing before I forget, because I'm probably going to get comments on it. You're probably wondering to yourself, wait a minute, wasn't the car claimed to have a quarter mile, 8.9, whatever, at 151 miles an hour? So if it's speed limited to 149, how did they go over 150? Well, Dodge, they actually, in drag mode, the car allows you to briefly, keyword briefly, go over that 149 mile per hour speed limiter for a few seconds. And let's say you stay in it for a half mile, 1 mile run, whatever. The car will actually bring you down back to that 149. So it's just a brief little few seconds that it lets you go over 149. I believe it lets you get to like 160 or so, and then it just brings you right back down to that 149, 150 speed limiter. So again, that does kind of suck. Some other little things too. The car, I mean, the 18 Demon was famously known for having that crate, that massive crate with the Demon logo, have the skinny front wheels, a jack, a torque wrench, an ECU to unlock it for the race fuel. I mean, really, really cool things in this massive crate that cost you $1. It was just awesome, unique, amazing. Dodge didn't do that for the new Demon 170 because the car essentially comes race ready with the skinny fronts, the fuel sensor for the E85 already in it, all that good stuff. So what did they give you instead? Well, instead of this beautiful massive crate, they gave you what they call a decanter set. Not the best thing. I mean, I guess it's what, so you can drink to the markup you paid? Because I can't think of any other reason why they give you that. But that's what you get with the car, is the decanter set. Kind of cool, I guess. And then some other little things too. The car, the 18 Demon had a lot of little Easter egg, little cool things about it that made it kind of special and unique. Firstly, in the windshield, you had a little silhouette of a Challenger. Every Challenger has this, a little silhouette in the corner of the windshield glass. And in the 18 Demon, they wanted to make it a little special. So instead of just a normal Demon silhouette, it's got or Challenger silhouette, I should say. It has a Demon silhouette with a burnout behind it. That's cool, right? On the 2023 Demon 170, for some reason, they just put the normal Challenger silhouette. Not a big deal, but these special touches are what make these cars, that much more special and worth the crazy money and investment and collector grade value and all that stuff. So that's another thing. Some other little things too, when you open the hood, on the 18 Demon, you had a really cool air grabber sticker on the inside of the hood, which the new Demon does not have. Not that big of a deal. You can buy the sticker and put it on, but it's not the same thing, as it coming with that from the factory. That's just classic cost cutting. Another thing, the gauge cluster. On the 18 Demon, it had a white face gauge cluster with a 200 mile per hour speedometer. Beautiful. Basically, a normal Hellcat gauge cluster, but they put the white face gauges, which that white face gauge, that was something that they did on the TA Challenger and the Shaker and all that, but those had a 180 mile per hour speedometer, so I had 200. Pretty cool. It made it feel a bit more special and unique than the normal red cluster that you saw on the Hellcat. On the 2023 Demon 170, they put the updated 220 mile per hour speedometer that we saw introduced in the Red Eye and the Superstock. But instead of taking that same cluster and giving it the white face like the old one, they left it red. That's cost cutting, which kind of sucks. So the interior of that gauge cluster just doesn't feel as special as the old one did. And those are really the main things. Let me look at my notes here. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. So what did I buy instead of the Demon 170? I bought what's sitting behind me here. This is a 2019 Corvette C7 ZR1. It's modified a bit. It's got about 900 horsepower right now on pump 93. Just an absolute monster. This thing pretty much can keep up with a Demon 170 in like a road race. Obviously not a drag racing situation, but and it could brake, it could turn. It's a track car that just so happens to be insanely fast in a straight line with a massive supercharger. And I'm just super happy with the car. It kind of solves that itch of me wanting a crazy, stupidly fast car in a straight line, and I just absolutely love it. I do kind of regret selling my Hellcat Red Eye when I did. I sold that car in October, which my birthday's in October, so not the best timing, but the buddy of mine who wanted it, he gave me the right amount of money for it, and I just sold it without even thinking about it because I was anticipating that demon coming. So yeah, I mean, I paid $139 for this car. I essentially have $50,000 extra than what I would have had buying that demon. So I mean, I could still buy another car if I want to, have this and something else. Obviously, I have the Viper, which the GoPro's sitting on with a little towel under it so it won't scratch it. The Viper, I got the ZR1, and I still have the TRX, which is the Hellcat-powered truck. I mean, that thing is awesome. I don't really need another Hellcat or a Demon or whatever. I might consider getting another Red Eye in the future, or maybe what I've been heavily considering too is a GT500 track pack, 2020 to 2022. I'm not really a Mustang guy per se, if I'm being 100% honest, but I've driven the ones that some of my buddies have. Let me tell you, man, that car with that dual clutch, that supercharged V8, 760 horse, that is one impressive car. It drives and sounds just absolutely incredible. I mean, I got out of it saying, man, this is not a Mustang. this is not a Mustang. My buddy's like, yeah, it's not a Mustang, it's a Shelby. And I'm like, okay, I get it. So that's something that I might consider getting later on. But for now, I mean, I'm super happy with this ZR1. I can always modify it a little bit more if I want to. Easily make 1,000 horsepower. These things are just super, super modifiable, very easy with the massive supercharger that it has. And yeah, so that's a story of why I passed on my Demon 170. I did have one of my buddies take over my spot, so I did get my deposit back and all that, which I'm happy about. I'm glad the dealer allowed me to do that, and yeah. So let me know what you guys would have done. Would you have paid almost $200,000 for a Demon that's speed limited to 149 miles an hour and is really not all that special? I mean, I should have known better, when I ordered it. I guess I was just all in the hype and all that, but it just is what it is. But yeah, I'm super happy with this. I'm not really craving the Demon anymore. I've just waited so long. I mean, it's been a year at this point, and the hype and the prices and everything, and seeing the market shifting, it's just kind of deterred me away from it. And it's not like if I 100% love the car. I don't. The lack of the front wide body really is the number one thing for me. It just doesn't look as good, especially in person, and just all the little other things that I mentioned. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you would have chosen, what you would have done. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.